I hate to say it, but the Atlanta Hawks are doomed. Their best player, Trae Young, is out for another 3 weeks. And I thought that this time with him being out will tell us a lot about the Atlanta Hawks going forward. And it kind of does. But first, you have to stick to the end of the video to see my hot takes on Trae Young being out. Now, if you hadn't heard, Trae Young is going to be out, all-star guard for the Atlanta Hawks, for about 4 weeks minimum. This means, like I said in a previous video that I'll put a link to up above, that this gives the Atlanta Hawks options to not only play their young players, but also build that defensive repertoire. Now, I will say this. So far, since Trae Young's been out, the Atlanta Hawks have played 4 games. They've won 2, and they've lost 2. And the main points that I've seen throughout is the Atlanta Hawks are still very inconsistent. Now, these 2 different games, these sets of games were super different. Like I said, the Atlanta Hawks blew 2 teams out, and then they lost pretty significantly to 2 other teams. Actually, it was the same team twice. Now, throughout those 4 games, there was 1 constant. There was 2 constants that you can see, which leads me to believe that Atlanta Hawks are ultimately doomed in the future. Now, the first constant is that the Atlanta Hawks were better defensively. You can see that in the opposing team's percentage, field goal percentage. You can see that in the amount of points scored. All that was down from the Atlanta Hawks' normal average that they give up. What also was something also you can tell in these 2 games is that the Atlanta Hawks really can't score without Trae Young, which I hate to say is basically acceptable, or is we knew that was going to happen because Trae Young is one of the best offensive playmakers, bar none, today. Now, with those games that they won, their defense was so good that they didn't really have to score at a high clip, and boom, there you go, they won the game. Now, this leads me to the future of Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks and why I believe they are doomed. Now, going forward, I personally believe that Trae Young and DeJounte Murray can no longer be on the team. I hate to say that. They are too similar of a player, and we've understand and realized that basically neither one of them can play off ball. They need to be that primary point guard. They need to have the ball in their hands. We want it to be more like a Luka kind of Kyrie experiment, but it didn't work out quite as well as that. So, my question to pose to all you out there: do we keep Trae Young and look for large 3-and-D wing players that can complement him? So trade DJ Murray and focus on bringing more defense around Trae Young, or do we trade Trae Young, keep DeJounte Murray, and find another number 1 potential 1B option for DJ, a large wing? Because we have to do one or the other going forward. Now, another question I'll pose to you is, what is easier? Is it easier to find those 3-and-D wing players for such as Klay Thompson, who might be available next year, or is it easier to trade all your pieces except Jalen Johnson and get that 1B, that main scorer that can play defense, for instance, like a Brandon Ingram, who could be available next year? So, leave a comment down below. What would you like to see? But the Hawks are pretty much doomed because they are going to have to lose one of these main staple keystone players at the end of the season. I would hate for it to be either or, but it has to happen because currently the Atlanta Hawks are sitting at 10th place. They will probably not make the play-in tournament. If they do, they're probably not making it out the first round. And let's just say they win and get the 8th seed. Oh, yeah, they have to play Boston. So, yeah, not good. But if you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on the post notification. We are on the journey to 1,000 subscribers, and we're starting. And also, if you want to see my initial analysis on Trae Young being out and what his injury will do to the Atlanta Hawks, check this video out right here. And like always, peace.